think we could do a draft. At least 4 things are like we could do like, randomize it and we draft, you first, me second, you third, me fourth, whatever, right? Of the negative things that I have coming out of this feud, this angle, right? So that's where I am. I mean, if I'm being honest with you, I was not able to watch this live. So a buddy who stopped watching AEW about 6 months ago sent it to me with like laughing emojis.
Did you see it though?
Yeah, I watched it back this morning. Yeah, I was preoccupied last night, but yeah, I mean, it's a little sad if I'm being honest with you. It's like the first take that I have watching the clip without context, right? Watching it come out there and watching the angle. That's not even like a top 4 thing for me. So I mean, I can run through the 4 things that come to mind, or we can do that of like.
Well, why do you think it's sad?
It's just so I mean, I can run through the reasons. It's going to give away if we don't want to play that game, which is fine. But it's the first time in 5 years he's been a character more so than a figurehead who does things, right? And like it's like you're not trying to combat the narrative, which I've always thought is lazy of the late stage WCW stuff, right? You're like kind of playing into that hand that you are like what's the opposite? You're victim Ray instead of bully Ray, right? It's kind of your character, which is not a good place to be. And so there's all those things of people that are not watching the 2-hour show, right? That cannot wait to dunk on AEW, that see something like this and can use that against AEW, right? Like you have to be cognizant of that. So it seems like, if I'm an outside viewer not watching every episode of TV and every pay-per-view of this company, I think it's a little desperate of a play to get people over and like get a heel people over, and then for Tony Khan to get over as a babyface again. He wants to come out there at the end of every show and thank the city and say, we're going to be back real soon. I really appreciate all your support, instead of getting booed like a proxy Jericho. Obviously, way different circumstance. I think that's how Tony Khan feels. And so that's sad on that front. And that's not even like anything of the angle stuff. The main issues I have with it. The number one being, these guys are baby faces. What are you doing? How do you not know who anybody is, a babyface or a heel, on your entire show? Like Willow and Mercedes has the same issue. We can run down the line here of like everybody's miscast every step of the way.
They are.
And so that's number one for me of like, how's Jack Perry not, and this is like, I guess the silver lining, because like he's either Stone Cold Steve Austin in AEW, beating the crap out of Tony Khan and getting everybody over and selling $1 million in t-shirts like Cody did after WrestleMania.
He is not Steve Austin.
Yeah, well, exactly. But like, that's like the we're the precipice of where we are, right? Like, because to me, he is like, he's not the character, but like as a fan, I'm like, hell yeah, beat that guy up. I'm tired of this guy. And you guys like, all right, like he's not taking charge. You're taking charge now as characters. You're taking over this company. You're being bosses, right? This is like exactly if you're booking for, like, that's booking for people that are in the know, and then you're making them the baby faces. Like, so you're like catering the story for a specific group of people because you're not telling the story, and the people that do know what's going on, you're making the heels the baby faces. It's just like, I mean, I don't know if you get much more convoluted, honestly. And that's the first pick.
All right, let's talk about that, because that's my biggest issue. That's and that's like my central big issue to this. Like I Tony Khan on TV, not on TV. I think that like if I trusted AEW more to like carry this out, I've put him on TV, like whatever. Like as long as it's done well and not done all the time, and done to further like something specifically, like okay, I'm willing to like see that play out. It's not anything that I was dying to see, but when you put him on TV and he takes like bumps like that, like it's impactful for the first time because it's not happened. So I'm willing to like entertain that, but you can't entertain that with all the background madness that's going on with this storyline. My first issue is, look, the first inconsistency here is nobody knows on TV why Jack Perry was not around for 8 months or whatever it was. Mm-hmm. That it was not explained when he left television, and it wasn't explained when he came back at the pay-per-view. It wasn't explained today when he was on TV, or yesterday when he was on television twice, and he didn't mention it when he was in the ring, and neither did Tony Khan. So like,
and it won't be. I can guarantee you that.
Well, yeah. I mean, why? What the hell's the point now? Like, so you have this big angle taking place with the assumption that people know why Jack Perry was gone. Okay, so that's one major issue. Mm-hmm. Over here, you have an inconsistency feeding that, which is people like kind of like saw the video, but in that video, Jack Perry is the babyface. He, like, if you watch that and you go, well, what the heck? If they're talking about that, and he got into this fight backstage, if that's what they're talking about, and that's why he was gone, man, that's kind of BS. Like, CM Punk just like attacked him, and they were having a conversation, and so he was gone for 9 months, and now he's back, and I'm supposed to not like this guy? Like, nah, forget that. Like, he's a badass. Like, where's he been? Like, so you have that inconsistency going on. Third inconsistency. That person, that figure, Jack Perry, is aligned with heel Young Bucks and heel Okada, who've been like yucking it up around as these like EVP heel characters for the last 2 months that don't align and are not really a part of why Perry left the company to begin with. So you've got all of that like just colliding with itself head on, mixed in with you don't have a babyface here to play off them. Like, unless it's going to be Kenny Omega coming back, which I don't think it is because I think he's set to have surgery. But unless it's like that.
Yeah, you mean physically in a match, right? Because he's going to be on TV, but he can't wrestle, obviously.
I mean physically in a match. Like, if you don't have, because like you'd think like, oh, well, it's CM Punk. Like, but it's not CM Punk. So you don't have like the other side here to like have, like to stand up to these guys or to stand up on behalf of Tony Khan. I mean, I guess FTR is there, but like they've been totally like neutralized. So